Hey, good morning. Simply Sugar here, stepping away from the news to learn with you guys. So I asked my BFF, ChatGPT, what is the U.S. rule regarding presidents enriching themselves through office? And this is what I received. In the United States, there are several rules and principles designed to prevent a president from enriching themselves through their office. This includes constitutional provisions, laws, and ethical norms. Well, we know we're not in a time of ethics or ethical norms, but let's go and read on. Emoluments clauses, U.S. Constitution. There are two emoluments clauses. For Emoluments Clause, Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8, this prohibits federal officials, including the president, from accepting gifts, payments, or other benefits from foreign states without the consent of Congress. Example, concern a president owning a business that profits from foreign governments, booking rooms or hosting events, like a president who owns hotels and golf clubs. Yeah, maybe something like that, or presidents who have things like Bitcoin would be a good example of this. You know, presidents accepting $400 million planes is a good example of this. So Domestic Emoluments Clause, Article 2, Section 1, Clause 9, this prohibits the president from receiving any additional compensation from the federal or state governments beyond the set salary. So states cannot bribe the president with, I guess, money and funds and gifts, which is interesting because there's a workaround around that. If the president visits your state, you know, oh, the president's having dinner here, we pick up the tab there. You know, there's workarounds of that as well. Federal ethics laws. I'm interested in this one. While many federal ethics laws do not apply directly to the president, and we know they don't apply because he'll never listen to this because it's not an actual rule like the Constitution, which he disregards the Constitution at all times anyway. So here we are. Financial disclosure requirements. Presidents must file annual public financial disclosures showing income sources, assets, and liabilities. We know he's not the best. I'm talking about the current president in office at supplying this information because there's dubious things happening here. Bribery laws. Presidents are not above federal bribery laws, which prohibit receiving anything of value in exchange for official acts. I'm curious to see what benefits Qatar gets after this gift, which we love this. Oversight and accountability. Congress can investigate and hold hearings into presidential conduct, including conflicts of interest, of profiting. Let's see if Congress does their job. My guess is no, because they're also profiting, right? And they're also terrified of this current president, and this is what's dangerous. This is why you don't worship a person or a party. You're supposed to adhere to the Constitution of the United States and to the rules provided by the Constitution and other federal laws. I mean, oversight and accountability include impeachment. If a president is found to be abusing their office for personal gain, like receiving a gift of $400 million, doing Bitcoin, opening mining companies in China, you know, forcing people to stay at his hotels and use his golf facilities, you know, things like that sound like, you know, it might be a conflict of interest. Now, fourth is norms and precedent. Presidents traditionally divest. You know, divest means they don't invest, they step away from personal businesses or place assets in a blind trust. So you're supposed to step away so there's no misconduct or perceived misconduct. To avoid conflicts of interest, this is the norm, not a legal precedent. We have to overhaul the whole system at this point because there is no norm. There is no, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to follow, you know, the rules or the norms of the previous president. There is none of that. It has to explicitly state it with repercussions, but not only repercussions for the president, for those who don't force the president to adhere to rules. So members of Senate and Congress, or the House of Representatives, because Congress encompasses both parties. So members of Congress, House and the Senate, there has to be repercussions for not doing your job. And I'm Simply Sugar. Let me know your thoughts.